What's up? It is Chow. Right now, I'm the luckiest dude in town because I have, in my opinion, one of the all-time greats in the industry, adult superstar, megastar Alexis Texas in town. How's it going today?
Oh, you're so kind. I am doing amazing. I just got into town. I'm pretty excited. This is my first time being here, so it's like you're popping my cherry.
Oh, my God.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. She's going to be at the Northern tonight and tomorrow doing a couple shows nightly, and it's Big Hour and Farm Show week, so they have a very special start time of 4 p.m., and that goes until tomorrow. So you just said you've never been to Fargo before.
No, this is my first time. That's why I'm super excited. I'm super excited to meet my fans here. I've got a lot of feedback on my social media, all saying that they're going to come down and see my big booty. So I'm hoping that they're going to bring it on. Because for me, I'm all about crowd participation. The more energy you give me, the better show you're going to get from Miss Texas. So I'm quite excited, Fargo.
So that's what's going to happen on the stage, huh? The more crowd participation, the more you're going to get
The booty
involved.
just shakes more and more and more. And everyone likes booty shaking. So you need more energy. Yeah. Bring it, Fargo.
I tend to agree with that. And they will bring it because this is the flatland out here. I don't know if you noticed. Very flat everywhere you go. So it's good to have some curves in town.
Nice. Well, I have a lot of curves because everything's bigger in Texas. So I think I'll be just fine.
Awesome. Well, let's get to know you just a little bit. How did you get into the biz in the first place?
How did I get into the business? It's one of those things that ironically kind of fell into my lap and I just ran with it. At the time, it was in, I don't want to date myself, 2006. It was when reality porn was really big and they were getting girls to try to do scenes that had never done them before. That was just like real life girls. So I was approached by a company called Shane's World, and they were doing a line called College Amateur Tour, which I was the prodigy of that first line. And yeah, long story short, I hit it off really well with the dude. Didn't really think that I was going to be a part of his thing. He got my number. I worked at a bar, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. He never called me back. And I'm one of those people, don't like rejection. So I was like, oh, guess you didn't really want me in your movie anyways. Called me up like right away and was like, oh my God, I didn't think you'd want to do it. He's like, if you're sure you want to do it, he's like, we'll come back right now. We're on the way to Houston to fly out. So again, I didn't want to do the movie. I was just like, why didn't he call me back? So which ended up turning into him talking to me the entire way until he picked me up. And then I just kind of went for it.
So you kind of guilt tripped your way into the business, huh?
Kind of, sort of, but different, I guess. I guess for him, he was like, you look too like sweet and innocent that you didn't want to do it, which I still am sweet and innocent. But he's like, we didn't think that you would even at all want to be a part of it. So when I called, for whatever reason, everything happens for a reason, it just kind of all fell into place. And at the time, I was like, I'm a college kid. I would probably have sex with you anyways. And I'm making a lot of money doing it. I could pay a lot of bills with my college.
Exactly.
Whole thing. So I thought it was going to be a one-time thing. And obviously didn't. So we kind of kept in contact. He hit me up a month later and told me a company called Bing Bros wanted to shoot me. And I wasn't really sure. But I was like, if I do it with just you, then I'm fine. So I went out there a week later and I fell in love with it. I was absolutely like everything from the glitz, the glam, the stylists, the big cars and fancy places. It was just like a whole nother dimension from a small town girl being from Texas. So I moved a week later to California, and I've been there ever since.
And no regrets.
No regrets. My motto has always been go big or go home. At the beginning, when they first did the first one, they were like, oh, there's so much porn out there. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Like no one will ever find it. But which would have been true. But because reality porn was so big, it ended up being on the Tyra show. It ended up being on all kinds of other shows to like bring limelight of what reality porn was. So for me, either way, I feel like I made the right decision because I wasn't ashamed of what I did. And I feel like it was embracing women's sexuality and showing them in a different way. So for me, this is my art and how I want to express the world who Alexis Texas really is.
Well, that's awesome. And as a guy, I think every guy, since we're animals and we can't really control ourselves sometimes because we have testosterone, I think every dude, it like crosses their mind at some point. Do you think I could do like porn or anything like that? But then everybody has always had this like urban legend or this myth out there that to be a guy in the porn industry, you have to have a pretty rough start and maybe do some things you don't want to do. Is that true?
It is not. And that's one of those things that I always like when it happens all the time. And I think it for real is every guy who thinks that they can obviously be a porn star, but it's a lot harder than what people think. I always tell people when they say that to me, and they're so eager when I do signings and I meet fans, I tell them, could you, and there's A, B, C, D list of things that you have to deal with, either from if you're doing an anal scene and something happens and it's a not no nice surprise, can you really keep yourself hard and continue doing the entire scene? Most men, once I say that question, are like, nah, I'm done. Can't do it. The other thing is being in a room full of 30 people all watching you and waiting for you to make the money shot. And are you going to be able to do it? And if you don't do it, you're costing us time now for location. So will you be called back again? So there's all these different variables. As a man, it's harder because you physically have to be hard. I can just lay there and be just beautiful. And I know what my body needs to make me feel good. So it's a little bit different for men to women. So it's different. But as far as the whole stereotype and the thing of the urban myth of you have to do basically guys when you're a guy is completely false. I think that's what a lot of people, like if you were to go on a Backpage or a Craigslist, that's what they want to entice you to say to make you feel better about yourself. But you absolutely, from Alexis Texas's mouth, 110% do not need to do gay porn if that is not what you want to do to be in the industry in a heterosexual way. But yeah, so it's definitely a myth.
Well, it might be time for a career change for me.
But they get a lot of people, and they always. But see, my problem with that is, if you're one sexual preference and that's what you like, by all means, to each his own. But when you're bringing that now into a business where we're heterosexual, and that's when things get crossed, that's when there's a problem. So I feel like if you could do it on camera for money or not, you some way like it one way or another. So own up to it and be in that industry if that's what you want to do or not. But you got to pick. You can't be in both.
Oh my God! I hope every guy listens to this
because
it's just gonna inspire
Alexis
them.
Texas is dropping knowledge.
No kidding. And speaking of those guys we're talking about, I asked the people in the area, some of your fans, just some quick questions, little fire off action. Do you play sports?
I used to play sports. My schedule is really busy nowadays that I don't really play sports anymore. But I used to play basketball in college back in the day.
Right on. Hillary or Trump?
Hillary, duh.
Okay, good answer. How do you feel about Pamela Anderson? Did you hear about this? Just a few weeks ago, she basically said that porn is a danger to society because that's preventing people from having healthy sex lives. Exactly. I know it seemed kind of hypocritical. But how do you feel about her saying something like that?
I feel like people evolve in their lives at different certain times, and maybe that's how she felt at the time. But I also feel one thing that I think that is negative that women, especially Jenna Jameson, who is a big icon in our business for a lot of reasons, and now not so much, but you can't, for a lot of words, like shit all over your business that created you to who you are. Maybe not Pamela Anderson in that sense, but she did a celebrity sex tape. Now, everyone always thinks like, oh, it was a hidden camera. No, she knew what she was doing. She signed a thing off. So for you to sit there and say that that's how you really feel, then obviously you are some part of that because contributed to it.
Major contributor,
so that,
actually.
To me, is very hypocritical. If that's really how you feel, then keep your comments to yourself because sometimes it's just not needed.
Bingo. Favorite non-sex activity?
Ooh, I love comedy shows. I'm a funny person. I like to laugh. I like to go out when I can, and I like to laugh.
Good. Who doesn't? That's good to hear. And what's the best thing a guy can do to get the girl?
To me, I think straightforward and honesty. Now, straightforward, not being cocky and overly aggressive, but being comfortable in your own skin shows a woman a lot more than some douchebag just trying to be like, hey, you want to go home with me? It's probably not going to work. Be subtle. Buy her a drink. Don't talk to her at first. See what she's doing. Ease into the situation.
Should the guy play hard to get or not?
It's like foreplay. I mean, it's in life. You have to give a little tease to want her a little bit more. When a girl neglects you, do you want her more? Yes.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, that feeling of rejection drives a dude nuts.
Women as well. So you have to play a little bit. It's a cat and mouse kind of game.
Well, there's going to be some playing tonight.
If that was that easy, then everyone would be in a relationship, which cuffing season is coming up, which I want no part of.
Cuffing season? Is that what they call that?
Cuffing season, yes.
Oh, caffing.
Cuffing.
Cuffing.
Like cuffing.
Okay.
Like handcuffs, like cuffing. Because during the winter moments, that's when everyone wants to be in a relationship because they want to be all lovey-dovey. Christmas, the holidays come, Valentine's Day, and then when the summer comes, they shut off all that extra weight and then they be free and single again.
I thought I'm a farm boy, and I thought you said caffing, and I'm like, what, is everybody going to have a baby here in the next few months? Is that what's going down here?
No,
Caffing season.
No, my farm boy. No caffing season. Cuffing season.
Cuffing. All right. Well, hey, I learned a lot today. All from you. Thank you so much.
You're very
and hey,
welcome.
Fargo, if you want to have a good time tonight and tomorrow, the Northern Gentlemen's Club, that's where it's at. The awesome Alexis Texas is going to be there performing 2 shows nightly tonight and tomorrow. And don't forget, with the Big Iron Farm show going on, the Northern is opening up at 4 p.m. You can't miss out on this. Really once in a lifetime, Fargo. You don't want to miss it. Alexis, anything you want to say to all of your fans here in the Fargo-Moorhead area?
Definitely should come out and see my shows because it's something that you're never going to forget. And if you don't follow me on my social media, you should look me up because you're missing out. My Twitter is Alexis_Texas and my Instagram is White Girl Politicking with a G. All right, guys, I'll see you tonight. I look forward for you to make it rain on my big booty.
Alexis, you are awesome. Thank you for joining me today.